What's going on, everybody? Let's give it a minute. Let people join.
Ooh, this is satisfying. Love this feeling.
Your noise reduction cuts the sound of it. I can't
What's
hear
that?
the knife. Your noise reduction cuts
you're
the sound of it. I
right.
can't hear the knife.
I have a silencer on my knife.
Yeah. I'm going to pin it.
Pin it.
I can't just click on it. That opens
No,
it.
you can't.
I can't find it in the group because it's not relevant yet. So I got a new post. Come on. There we go.
Good day, mate. Mr. Ospider. Hello, Lane Lucas. Welcome to the show. Mr. Mustache himself is in the house.
Which one?
The king of the mustaches.
Which one?
There's
We
only
might
one.
have to have a mustache fight between Jake Mack and Josh Haygood.
Well, Josh is all-time mustache haver. Jake is like, Jake doesn't always have a mustache, right? Or am I imagining that?
Neither of them are firefighters, I might point out. So
True.
It's entirely possible that one of them might take the lead.
Yep. What up, Adam McCoy?
If Tyler Parkinson was here, he'd throw his name in the hat.
It's true. Wow, we have a lot of friends joining us in the comment section.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being in here. It is 2024, Tom. It's a new year.
Yeah, I'm still in that mode where I'm like writing at 23. Like I recorded a bunch of videos. They're all year 23. Didn't even register. Weird feeling. It's going to take me 6 months to adjust.
Yep. Good thing I'm not writing checks anymore. Gilman's here. What is the opposite of firefighter? Fire
starter. Like Prodigy.
A fire encourager. Even your boys have majestic mustaches, so friends in the family.
Fire encourager.
Yep. Josh is 10.
So you know on Instagram how like you can look at the analytics of like how many people have viewed it, but you can also see how long on Reels it's been viewed total, how many hours that Reels been played.
I mostly just look at girls that I'll do the freeze frame challenge.
Those are good.
That's most of what I'm doing.
Not only do you like it on accident because you're trying to freeze it, but they get 1 million rewatches.
Yeah, they get a lot of rewatches on that. Plus, you're interacting with it. You're touching it. That's probably good for the algorithm.
Mm-hmm. Well, Josh's isn't that good, but his one where he's on the one wheel and he ninja chops the can of ginger ale in half, it's got so many hours. People just can't get enough of Josh Haygood on that one wheel.
Who I mean, I don't blame him.
No.
Waterbender.
Isn't that like an anime show? The Last Waterbender?
Isn't that something you watch on 8K? Evening all. What's up, guys? Yeah, so what's going on in the world of knives? We should probably start with some hot knife talk.
So New Year.
So
our price is going up. Start that off, right, with the existing models, Spyderco.
Yeah. I wish everybody would read a book on economics before they started talking about price increases. Like, I'm just kind of tired of that topic. We've been hammering it for a while, but things go up in price. They don't go down. That's it. The only thing that goes down are commodities that are speculated on. They go down sometimes, but not always. but knives are made out of crap that has to be imported, and cost of labor goes up all the time. So if you live somewhere like I do, where people make more money, not less money every year, then your costs go up. So it just is what it is. You have to expect that things are going to go up in price. So one of the things that Spyderco does to mitigate the cost going up is they sell their seconds. There's a lot of those. If you look at Benchmade, they sell 0 seconds. So they got to eat it so that you'll see it in their price. But Spyderco is able to keep their prices competitive in that realm through that, I imagine.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I haven't seen what they are. Last year, they didn't increase the price of Seiki knives because they were already relatively high, Eric told me. So I don't know what the prices are going to look like. I just want to get ahead of this before I start seeing angry posts like, what's going on? So maybe they're minimal, maybe they're a lot. I'm not sure yet.
I've seen a few so far. They're already out there.
Okay.
Everybody's mad thinking it's a cash grab and that they're greedy. I'm guessing that that's a bitter, angry person typing that because they don't want to raise prices. If you've ever worked in business, you know you want your prices to be lower so you can have more business. So they don't love ideas of price increases. They have to. They certainly can't afford to make things and lose money every time they make them.
No.
Found he best Korean jerky ever just now. Just saying, sharpening. Sage Caribbean Delica as I finish this amazing teriyaki snack bite. Cheers. Oh, man. I want some jerky now.
Yeah, jerky's good. Jerky's good. It's got to be... It's got to be pretty tender for my sensitive palate, but I can get down some jerky pretty hard.
I saw I don't know if it was on Instagram. I think it was. Somebody showed that if you're gonna pack up some jerky, drop in one of those dental floss hooks in the package with it.
Oh yeah. I do keep the dental floss picks. I keep a handful of them in my coffee table, which is where I eat dinner. It's handy. It is gross, but it does come in handy. Now even Camden's using them. Get into my stash.
Let me use my ice pick here real quick
for Q-tip for Q-tip.
Clean some jerky out of my teeth. No, I'm breaking some ice cubes. Jason Beatty, there's a guy out of Upland, Indiana. Nate's Jerky, the absolute best. Nice. Invite him in the group.
Yeah.
We need group jerky. Isn't there somebody else that makes
Wayne Woodard makes jerky?
Wayne Woodard. Maybe he can make
and he's given it away several times on giveaways even.
Somebody tag Wayne Woodard and tell him we need logo jerky. Like he can stamp it into the meat.
You sear it into the meat.
Okay, I found this on the web for his Siri into the meat.
Hey Siri, sear it into the meat.
I found some web results. I can show them if you ask again from your iPhone.
I've never actually used that functionality. I never ask it by its name.
Hey Siri, why are you ineffective?
I don't have an answer for that.
I know you don't have an answer.
I can help with?
No, probably not.
Now
the best thing about Siri is you can change the accent. That's about it.
Oh, it's true. I like her normal voice.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about selling tips. I thought this would be a good chance to talk about selling tips. Somebody had a post today saying, "Hey, I'm new at this, and I don't have any vouchers, no couches, and how do I go about convincing people that I know what I'm doing and I can sell stuff?" So Uncle Jason's got some tips for you about how to sell. So if any of you know anybody that's looking to sell some stuff, tag them now. The best tip I can tell you, make sure that you're not doing anything that makes you look like a scammer. I'll give you an example. Scammers almost always have pictures of knives that look like they were stolen from the internet or they were stolen from somebody else's pictures, or they look like pictures that you would find on eBay. So maybe pictures like that. A good example would be take it outside. Just do an outdoor photo. I've never seen any scammers use outdoor photos to the best of my knowledge. They always put it on a cutting board or on a what else? A blanket. You see a lot of blankets, don't you, Tom? Blankets in a dimly lit bedroom. There's a lot of that.
It's got to look bad. It's got to be taken with a 3-megapixel camera too.
Right. So shoot pictures outside. Another thing that I think is really important is take a video of the outside of the knife, and you want to keep it under 20 seconds so it's easy to share. Shoot a 20-second picture of the outside of the knife. Like move it around, show us the different parts of it, show us if it's centered, show us the spine of the knife, show us if it's been dropped, and then turn it off. Then you want to do a 20-second video where you flick the knife open, show us the blade, show us the edge, show us the tip, close the knife, show us the action of the knife. 2 videos is really all you need. You probably don't even need to post those in your sale posts. You probably just save them for somebody messages you and says, hey, is that knife still available? You go, yes, it is. You send them the 2 videos, and then you go, do you have any questions? Another tip I have for you is avoid pitfall words like new. It's like new. Is it new in box? No, it's like new. So is it brand new? No, it's like new. Has it been carried? Yeah, I didn't want to tell you that, but it has. Like, be honest with the description. It's okay to say excellent condition. It's okay to say this knife has been carried 7 times in a dust resistant bag, and then it was put back in my suitcase, and then I never touched it again. Like, tell us what happened. But you don't have to even put that in your sale post. You can save that for when somebody messages you. But just avoid the pitfall stuff like new in box, like new in box, light user, the common descriptions that seem to not mean anything anymore. Just tell us the truth. I learned this one from Tom. If the fair market value for a knife is $200, don't sell it for $210. Sell it for $190. The reason is it'll sell in an hour. It'll be gone, and you won't have to mess with it anymore. And it only costs you $10. If you try to sell it for $210, you'll hold it for 6 weeks, and no one will buy it.
And then when you do reduce the price, no one will buy it because it has a stink on it.
Yes.
No one will want to buy it.
Yes. So figure out what the knife is worth in today's market. Not what it was a year ago. Not what you wish it was worth. What it's actually worth. Drop $10 off.
And take offers. I would say, like, think of what it's worth. Don't try to take a number. I've seen people post things, and their first thought was, well, I know it was worth 200, so I posted it for 250. So when I haggle over it, we end up where I wanted to be in the first place. No, list it for what you want to list it for. Don't overprice it, hoping to get offers and people beating down your door.
Generally, when Tom sells stuff, and he sold probably more knives than almost anyone in the group, he'll generally have it sold in under 2 hours. It's rare for him to list a knife and have it sit for days at a time. That's your indicator that your price is too high. So try to figure out what it's worth. And the way to do that is search for it. Pay attention to the buy, sell, trade for a few days before you sell something so you know what things are going for. And if there's 15 of them out there right now, maybe now is not the right time to sell that knife. You want to wait until there's fewer of them.
If there is a knife and you're wondering the value and it's not necessarily a Spyderco, it's also not a bad idea to join the buy, sell, trade groups for that specific knife brand. You'll get a lot better feeling for the market than just looking at the Millie Club by itself.
Definitely. Here's something
look else like a real person. That's one thing. Like, this might be hard for some people to do this with their profile. Look like you are not a Nigerian scammer. Have pictures on your profile. Have your name on your profile. Like, make it look real. And use that real profile to interact on the group. Put up a couple posts. Put a couple comments. It will make you have a history built up on your profile. So if someone clicks on your profile picture to see what you've done, like, are you an active member, they can go through and say, oh, 2 months ago he posted a couple times. So he's not just here all of a sudden to scam me. He's a participating member. He's probably a real person.
That's a great point. Being a participating member is a big help. Matthew, we will circle back to that question. It's a great question. We're going to finish this one up. Something else that bothers the hell out of me: bad communication and not shipping when you say you're going to ship. So don't list anything that you can't ship the next day. You should be able to generate a label the same day that they message you and say that they want it. So it should go something like this. You list the picture, You list the price. Maybe you add a video. Somebody messages you. You send them the video so that they have it. You send them all your pictures so that they have it. And then you ask them if they have any questions, and you volunteer information that they need to know to make a good decision. At that point, they'll either buy it or they won't. And if they send you PayPal, then just go ahead and open pirateship.com and create a label. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't drive to the post office. Don't give it to your wife and have your wife ship it. And I know some of you let your wives ship your stuff for you, and don't get butthurt at this, but the vast majority of scammers that say, my wife's going to ship it, then guess what? The wife doesn't ship it. So don't look like you're a scammer. Just go ahead and print the label. Printers are cheap now, guys. For $120, you can get a printer at Walmart. So you can get an account on pirateship.com for free, and you can make your own labels at home, and then you don't have to worry about it. The other fun part is the person that just paid you for the knife will get a copy of the shipping if you attach their email, and then they can track it themselves without you having to take a picture of a receipt, and then they have to do that awful thing of trying to save it and copy the number. Like, that's annoying. That's not value add for the customer. Tom came up with one right before we came on. Tom, do you remember that one?
No.
Don't declare you're a noob.
Oh, yeah. If you look like you're worried about looking sketchy, don't point it out, because then people will draw attention to you and not want to. Even if you're proving you're not a noob by doing it, I'd rather buy a knife from Jason than a noob, even if a noob is way cheaper, because I know it's going to come packed correctly. It's going to come shipped on time. It's going to be safely make its way to me in the proper condition, because he knows what he's doing. And a noob, like, this guy, I don't know, maybe he has scratched up knife and thinks it's still good, and he's going to drop it in an envelope and toss it in the mail. Like,
right. So that's one, but 1A is going to be, don't tell us all about the vouchers you have in other groups. You know who does that? Nigerian scammers do. They like to tell us about the vouchers in the other groups. Or I have screenshots of vouchers, right? And it'll say things like, blank is awesome. And then the blank is like their name crudely photoshopped in. Vouchers in other groups don't count. Like, that's fine if the buyer is also in that group, but it isn't value add. So I've bought lots of knives from people that had really good pictures and really excellent communication, and I didn't go and check the other groups, and I didn't go look at, this, that, and the other, because the communication was good. So just be thorough with how you communicate, and I don't think you're going to have a problem selling things, even if you have a new account. So don't have a sketchy account. Don't have pictures that look like scammer pictures. Have quality videos and pictures of your knife that are current. The signature with the date next to it, that was a good idea for about 9 seconds, and now it's not a good idea anymore, because that's another popular another popular scammer process, is to put a piece of paper under it and then Photoshop the date and the signature on it. It just doesn't assure anybody of anything. It just reminds you of a scammer picture. Let's see.
Don't go crazy in. Be honest and open with what this is. Just a general sales tip. You want to be 100% honest with the condition of your knife. You don't need to put that necessarily in the caption for your sale. You don't need to scare people away with overburdening them. You should tell them in a DM if you like, this thing has lock stick or something like that. You don't need to like rain on your own post without being able to explain what it is. So if you do it in a DM, you can say, hey, there's this and this is what's wrong with it and whatever. Here's a video of the edge or something like that.
These Postal Service Tyvek envelopes are waterproof. They're tear resistant, and they obscure whatever's inside. So whatever box you choose to use, maybe it's a recycled cutlery shop box, and then you don't want it to look like a knife box, you can drop it in one of these suckers, right? And then you seal the edge over, and guess what? It's 11 by 7.5. It counts as an envelope that's 11 by 7.5. So your postage isn't very much. You're not paying a ton of postage on that. Call it an envelope, priority mail, 7.5 by 11, and you're going to get like $8.30 for your shipping. So great way to make it waterproof, great way to make it tamper resistant, because we've all seen pictures of the boxes where the box end is busted open. That's real easy to do. And it's the problem I have is I'm not convinced that Postal Service people are busting open the ends of knives and then taking the knife out of the knife box and then putting the knife box back in. I don't believe that happens. I think people ship empty boxes in a busted box. And then That's my guess, you know. So don't look like that. Don't let that happen to you. Go ahead and use an envelope.
Communicate if you're not going to be able to get somewhere on time. Like Jason said, if you can't ship stuff, communicate. Like if you want to be over communicating, tell them when you drop it off at the post office. You don't need to take a video. I will say you don't need to take a video of you actually dropping it in the bin. Some people do. I get it.
I had a situation once where I listed some knives for sale on a Saturday, and then by Monday I had gone on a work trip. And Monday night, somebody messaged me and said, "Can I have the knife?" And I said, "Yes, but I can't ship till Thursday." They said, "You want me to pay now?" And I said, "No, pay me Thursday." Keep your money.
Yep.
I won't ship the knife because I'm not home. And when I get home, I'll ship it for you. And having that conversation, you know, was all the difference.
PayPal accounts or whatever service you use, be ready to accept multiple forms of payment because people are using more than just PayPal now. But one thing on PayPal that is a red flag is if you're using your wife's account or your cousin's account, or you have a different name on your own account than your Facebook name, it's kind of a red flag when people see like, oh, so-and-so is paying. That doesn't match their profile name.
Yeah. If I'm buying a knife from Thomas Moore and his PayPal account is Sprinkles, you know, RU4692, I'm going to not send the money. I'm going to go ahead and not send the money because that person's probably not real. So that's selling in a nutshell. The other thing is if it doesn't sell in about 3 hours, your price is too high, or you're listing it at the wrong time, or your pictures suck, or you're describing it too much. That's the other thing. Like, guys, it's a Spyderco. Doesn't need a lot of words.
There's some posts I see with exclaiming how rare something is and how awesome it is, and I'm like, just what is it?
I know you're trying to add some value so that you can get a couple more bucks out of the knife. I understand it. But everyone here kind of knows what it is, and it's not so rare that they can't get another one. So you don't have to write a novel. If you're going to tell us a sob story, it probably will count as negative against you. People don't like to see a sob story in a sale post. They think of it as pandering or disingenuous, even if you mean it sincerely. So I recommend avoiding that. It just doesn't seem to help.
A tip on the Facebook algorithm, the way the algorithm works. Certain types of posts, Facebook is AI and it knows what you're posting. Certain types of posts get promoted up in the algorithm and certain types of posts get promoted down. Posts with lots of engagement get pushed up, but you know what doesn't have a lot of engagement? Just a random sales post of a PM2 in S30V for $120 is not going to have a ton of comments on it, so it's going to get buried. So no one's going to see your post. That's why the buy, sell, trade post is really helpful. If you're not doing like a massive sell off of all your knives, just have one thing to sell, post it on the buy, sell, trade. You'll get a lot more eyes than a post that just gets buried because no one's engaging with it.
Patrick Bryan asked earlier if you could search the comments in the buy, sell, trade. The answer is probably not. It's really sucky. That's the downside of that.
Yeah, I always search for something and it brings up that post and you click comments and it's just everything.
Word of caution, there's a chat in the group and I don't like the chat. It's largely unmoderated. People can join the group, then join the chat, and we don't know what's going on in there. So if you're buying and selling and trading in the chat, know that it's probably not being watched by us. We're not going to catch it. Houston doesn't get a
fucking Wild
notification
West
about
in
it.
there.
It's not a great. It's not a safe place to buy, sell, trade.
People enjoy it because it's almost like a casino atmosphere. Like stuff is happening in real time in the chat, and scammers do get in there. I've seen it happen. Members are careful-ish. I've seen people get called out, but I don't know how many have been missed. It's just people say post a picture and post a price, and then it gets buried in the feed, and someone buys it. I don't know.
I'm of the mindset, Tom. I'd like to close the chat because it robs content from the main part of the group. All these people could be posting in the group and we could all enjoy it, but instead they're doing it in a secret chat where we don't know what's being done.
Yeah.
So I don't love it. So for what it's worth, I don't recommend it. Yeah, Tom B is good about catching those guys. I've seen more than one notification from you. So that's it for now on selling. Somebody asked me to do another video about knife descriptions. It's real simple. Do not use like new in box. It doesn't mean anything. Like new in box, by the way, and also you can't swap scales on something and call it new in box. It's not new in box. It's not as it came from the manufacturer. New in box implies that it's as it came, unaltered, untouched, perfect condition, right? So a scale swap or sharpening the knife or disassembling it and putting on tie screws is not new in box. Sorry.
Even if the parts are new, like even if every part you put on a knife is new, the knife isn't new anymore. It's been taken apart.
If you take a dump in your hand and throw it at me and it sticks to my shirt, it's new to me.
Okay.
Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean what you think it means. So I think avoiding like new in box, avoiding new in box, I think that's not the way to go. I think the better way to go is to tell us what's up with the knife. I bought it. I don't love it. It's not my jam. You know, I bought it. I decided I don't want it anymore. Those are honest things. Like we all do that. We all buy a knife in impulse because it's a rare one. And then we get it and we go, why did I buy that? And then we sell it. Or don't say that. Just put up the knife and the price. If you don't feel like the story helps, save it for the DM. The person that messages you will probably ask that question, which is really hilarious to me. Why are you selling it? Because I don't want to give it away. Because I want money. Because I want to trade it for money. Why do you think?
Why don't you like it? Why don't you like it? That is a tough one when you do sell something that's like brand new on the market, and no one's like really got to handle it yet and have like a reputation. Why are you selling it? Because it kind of fucking sucks. Do you want it?
Right. Let's go back to Matthew Blair for a minute. This is a good question.
Oh, yeah.
How long does it take to break in a brand new PM2? I have my very first Spyderco I just received, and the deployment is somewhat tough. Brother, that is I never say brother. Why did I say brother? I think the picture got me there.
Beard.
That is definitely not a thing that you're suffering on your own. The knives can sometimes be a little tough when you get them out of the box. So I have a process. Tom, you want to tell us your process and I'll tell him mine?
So my process is whenever I get a brand new knife, I open the box up, give it a flick, and way more often than not, I am not impressed with that at all. I can't answer your question because it's almost like the owl lollipop. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? I don't know because I have never broken in a PM2 without getting frustrated and just cracking open the pivot.
Right.
And adjusting it out. So I adjust it. I've never actually broken one in. You can break them in, but I cheat and I crack the screws open.
I don't see why you should suffer a knife that doesn't work well for 9 months until it works in, because working in means you're just sanding the washer against the knife until it gets better. Why not just fix it while you're there? My suggestion is this. I would take the knife and I would look at the spine and I would find the side with the lock. I would open this side of the knife. And the reason is the pivot is asymmetrical and it's D-shaped on this side and it's not D-shaped on that side. So also we're going to want to get to the detent ball. So I would open the knife and then I would remove the screws from the pivot, frame, and then I would grab the whole knife and just sort of twist it this way without removing the lanyard tube. That allows me to get inside the knife and I can work on the washers without disassembling the knife completely. So once I have the scales slid open like this, can you imagine what I'm doing, Tom? Like scissors?
Mm-hmm.
You're just making the scales scissor open. I'm probably going to drop this and cut myself. Once the knife is open, I'll pull the washers out. I'll clean them off because they probably have oil, and then I'll reapply Gunny Glide, and then I'll put the blade back in. I'll put 1 drop of thick Gunny Glide on the detent ball, and then I'll close the knife back up. When I close the knife up, I always leave the blade all the way open. I tell you the pivot first, and then I work my way towards the lanyard tube. When I'm done, usually they won't drop shut if everything is as tight as it can go. So you may have to back off slightly. And if you're going to back off slightly, you want to back off on the pivot screw just a tiny, tiny bit. And occasionally you might need to back off on this one as well, because this one is center on the blade and this one's not center on the blade. And it can cause your scales to be kind of like this, I guess more like that.
Yeah,
Your
pinches
scales
it.
can have a cant to them if that's too tight. Lately, I find that I don't have to loosen the standoff anymore. So when you're done, you should be able to have a knife that falls shut when you squeeze the compression lock. It should be centered, and you should be able to flick it open, and it should fly open and then fall shut again.
And ideally, when it's like that, there should be still minimal. There should be none, but let's be realistic. There's usually some blade play up and down or side to side.
I'm at the point where I don't have that anymore.
Mine's dead on this one, but I'm just saying, if you feel it the tiniest bit and you can't tighten the pivot more with it dropping shut, sometimes it has to have just the tiniest bit of side to side wiggle.
I find that that's more true on old ones than new ones, and lately, over tightening the pivot means that the knife won't close right. Usually, that's what I find. So, you should be able to have really good flick and flop out of your PM2 if you lubricate it properly. DLCs generally are slower than satins because even though the DLC is supposed to add lubricity, it just doesn't seem to make it pivot better. So that's it in a nutshell. When you get good at it, it takes you 15 minutes to do that. And then you should be able to make it go.
If you go up to the featured section at the top of the group where all the videos are pinned, where this is pinned right now, the video right before this, I recorded on YouTube, and it's 20 minutes long of how to disassemble and rebuild a PM2. Step by step, every single screw, every little bit of the process, if you want to watch that.
Normally, I would never recommend titanium screws over the steel screws. The steel screws are much stronger and they're much better until I met the RGT hardware. And I'm kind of a convert now. The knife that Tom is holding has all T8 screws. They're titanium. And the solution on the rip screws is you just tighten them down all the way. And the knife works perfect. No backing it off, no thread lock.
Mine are backed off is the tiniest amount, but there's no thread lock. There's no blade play. They're firmly seated. They're not backing out. Flicks and flops. This knife, I've had these screws from Steve for a couple months, and they've been sitting on my desk because all of my pair of threes were like, I'm not touching any of them. They're all great, except for this one. But this one had black screws on it, and I thought it looked really cool. But I never carried it because the screws would always back out, and the scales would always feel like chattery because they were loose, and you could like tap on them and they just feel hollow. So I gave these a chance. I am not a believer in titanium hardware because one, it's softer, but two, on a pair of three, I could never avoid the issue of not having a titanium stop pin. So titanium stop pins on pair of threes on every other titanium stop pin I've used cause lock stick. They just do. This one has none, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, but somehow Rips has figured out how to do a titanium stop pin that doesn't cause lock stick. If you buy cheap garbage hardware like Pacific Suns, their hardware is garbage. The Pacific Suns live in China. It's a mass-produced overseas product. They're cheap because they're cheap, and they just don't work so well.
If you're buying hardware off of
titanium,
you're buying hardware off of eBay and it comes with a pivot barrel, that's a red flag. Your hardware set shouldn't come with a titanium pivot to match.
I don't think you'll regret it. It's really, really good screws.
And
Adrenaline makes good tie. He does.
I own 5 sets of Adrenaline pair 3 hardware. I do have sticking problems on his. His at least solution was to put candle wax on it, but that might just be the ones that are anodized. I don't know. It's not a permanent solution, so I kind of gave up on the XXX pair 3 stop pin.
Also, the shipping from Australia is hard.
Yeah.
It's a long way.
So a set of rip screws are between 50 to 70, I believe, depending on if you get a stop pin or a standoff. So he's got different combos. So he's got anodized ones. He's got plain satin, titanium, and he's got ones where if you want to stop in or if you want to stand off for a PM2 or whatnot, you can just get the parts you want.
I haven't used any thread lock on the RGT screws. I just tighten them all the way down. By the way, Steve Ripplinger is going to be on the show next week, so
that's right.
You guys will be able to talk to him and see him in person. And I hope he's. I don't know. It's a big ask, but it would be nice if he was still in the shop, so maybe we get a shop tour.
Yeah.
Yes, if you want a lanyard tube, then you can have it anodized. If you give him the voltage, then he can give you the color you want.
So Rips's website can be intimidating because he's got so many things listed, and unfortunately, having all those things, some things are sold out, so it can be kind of hard to navigate a site sometimes, trying to find something specific and a specific finish that you want and a specific pattern. But if you know exactly what you want from him, just email him and he will help you out. It's not that he's making these things. He's going to a shop. So if he needs to produce something, just let him know and maybe he can hook you up.
I hear my daughter hollering for me. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Pardon me.
Okay. So this week, in the last 2 weeks, I've been spending a lot of time here on StreamYard streaming to Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, all this stuff. So first of all, if you're watching FFIB, thank you for joining us. What you're going to want to do while Jason's not here is go over to YouTube or after this is over and search Millie PM2 P3 Club and subscribe to that YouTube channel, because that's kind of my new focus on something I've neglected. Is I want to grow the YouTube channel. So there are guides, there are interviews, all the old FFIBs, and now I'm posting lots of sharpening live videos. That's the best place to go back and watch all this information is YouTube. It's been there. It's just kind of where we've been dumping stuff, and I haven't been paying attention to it. But that's going to be the new frontier for me, is creating content and hopefully finding some new members, because we get new members constantly that will say they heard about us on Bearded Gear, which is Jake Wright's podcast or video, and Pocket Perspective, which is Wes Newman, who's not even an active member anymore, but he was several years ago, and we still get new members all the time that reference they saw him on YouTube saying how cool the club was. So anyway, join us on YouTube. That's the new cool thing. What I've been doing a lot of on there is just doing live sharpening. We're sharpening all sorts of shit. This is what we sharpened yesterday. This is my own knife. I'm out of customer knives to sharpen. I have one that came in this afternoon, but this is my own Koenig Arius. We put an 8000 grit mirror on it on film, and it's sharp and it's shiny, and I love the flipper delete on this Arius. It's really good where it goes. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun sharpening. So cool thing about doing sharpening live on video is a lot of people, customers, have been able to watch me sharpen their knives. So if you're interested in watching a live action knife sharpening of your own knife, you can send it to me and I'll record it, and it'll go on YouTube and it'll go on Facebook, and you can watch me nervously, hopefully not screw up your knife. I screwed one up just a tiny bit the other day on video. I was so careful about it. It's just the way it had to be. But man, it was like documented.
Nice job.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she's fine. She can't sleep.
Oh no.
I was like, yeah, I know. Just like last night. So close your eyes, deep breaths, relax.
I've learned the deep breaths thing. That's the new thing I have to say to Cam. It's just like deep breaths, and he actually does it, and he really does calm down. It works.
If you can take him through a breathing exercise, it works. Like I've never been a yogi, but those relaxation principles really work. And then the other one that works is Cam's probably too young, but on Charlotte, I can get her to do it where she focuses on her muscles from her toes to her ears,
Yeah.
relaxing the toes, and then you relax your ankles and you relax your knees like that.
That's so hard to do, like as an adult.
Yeah, but it's good mindfulness. It's good for you anyway.
Yeah.
Yep, she's fine. Oh wow, both? That's great. I'm finding myself carrying a different kind of knife lately. I'm carrying a lot more 3-inch knives than I did a year ago.
Ooh.
Kind of embarrassed to say. And then what else? I'm finding that thickness of the knife is like my least favorite feature. If a knife is thick from the front to the back, then I don't carry it. Like I want a slim knife. So
you mean thin or
yeah.
thin?
No,
this
the other way. Yeah. Inside to outside when you're carrying it in your pocket. So the same reason we don't like carrying round flashlights in our pockets because they're annoying. A fat knife can be more like a round flashlight. So I have a few that I want to carry that I love. And then I put them in my pocket and I go, I feel like I'm carrying the back of a screwdriver or, an upside, you take a screwdriver upside down, put it in your pocket. It feels like that. Bugs the hell out of me. So I carried my Rask the other day and I was so happy because it's so thin.
That's a thin one. Yeah.
Yeah. Thin, slim, beautiful. It was like, man, the engineering that goes into a thin knife is important. Yep. And then the other part is the clips. I wish knives didn't look so weird without a clip. But a lot of times I don't really want the clip on there. I'm getting to the point where what's next for me, Tom? Am I going to switch to the GECs? Am I going to be buying the knife? Why do knives have 2 blades from them? Why do they make 2-blade knives?
It's the same thing. It's like a small blade and a slightly smaller blade.
I have an idea. I want a dull knife, but then I want a smaller blade that's just as dull as the big blade, and I make it out of steel that'll rust. Can you do that? I don't get it.
I don't have a lot of experience with knives like that, other than ones that come in to sharpen, which are a pain in the ass because they're so tiny to get in the jaws and the angles and all that crap. But one pass and that soft steel is a burr. I mean, they're not hard to sharpen.
Yeah. I've been carrying a tactile turn Rockwall. I've been carrying what else? Quiet Carry Drift, Quiet Carry Waypoint. I've been carrying my mini Arius a lot, which is thinner than the big boy, but not a lot thinner. So this one is on the fringe of the exception. I have a small Sebenza with wood inlay. I'll carry that. Normally a small Sebenza, don't want it, but man, it's a thin, small knife. It's a nice choice. Yeah, the Drift is really, I don't know. It's still the poor man's Rosie.
Yeah.
Pretty great knife. I can't believe Balake didn't buy his.
Yeah, but at least now it's not impossible to get one. You can buy one on secondary.
Quiet Carry is a company I really like their knives. They're not hard use knives, but they're beautiful and they're functional and they're easy to carry and they're nice to cut with. The Vanix steel is not the best edge retention, but they are really nice to carry in the pocket. So if you're an office guy, if you're not in the job, if you're not on a work site, a construction site or something like that, the Quiet Carries are really nice. Good choice. I need to try the large Drift. I saw the large Waypoint and I was disappointed because it's so much thicker. So back to the thick thing, Tom. It's a big boy, but the large Drift looks cool.
I got a knife for you. Here you go. Something like this.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
So dumb.
The thing I think about when I see those in Chavez is like, you could have made 3 knives, but you made 1 knife.
It's surprisingly not smooth, but it's smoother than you'd expect. But yeah, this is, when you say thick, I was like, I gotta show. I mean, this is his slim version of a knife too. This is not the biggest one. That's next up.
There was a time when Quiet Carry got really descriptive about where their stuff comes from. And it sounds like a fair amount of their assembly is done in the US and their coatings are done in the US. So I believe they're buying Chinese parts from Taiwan, well, Taiwan parts. And then they're bringing them in and then they're doing final assembly down there in Costa Mesa. So not American made, but good value. Yeah. The only thing tougher than the size of the knife is the detent usually. Those have a really tight detent.
Oh, those ones always fool me because I see the giant thumb stud on them. Like maybe the giant thumb stud will be easier to pry this thing open.
The only PM2 and the only Para 3 that have a full liner is the Micarta models. And they did that on purpose because Micarta does not have a lot of structural integrity. It's not as sturdy as G10. So when you put Micarta scales on a regular PM2 that has the nested liner, what you find is the knife suddenly becomes really flexible. So the knife that you own has a full liner, and it's to the benefit of the knife. So you do have a very cool PM2. Tom and I each have one, and they're beautiful and they're functional. And the cool thing about Micarta is you can kind of make it your own. If you want to oil it and make it dark and cool looking, you can. If you want to just carry it, it'll get dirty over time and look worn in like a leather belt. So it's a cool knife.
A lot of people get those though, and will order custom scales, and their first post in the group is like, why don't these scales fit on my knife? It's a very common issue of people getting that knife, hoping to customize it because it's a cool steel. If you don't dig the micarta, there is some scales from AWT, aluminum scales, that are made just for that knife specifically.
The Big Bad of Reacher Season 2 carries a Kershaw leak and has killed 5 people with it. Every time he does, it takes me out of the show. Yeah, no kidding. There's a lot of knives out there they could have picked. That's, yeah.
I always think it's a very, very exotic whenever there's a Spyderco in a movie. It's never like a PM2. It's always like something bizarre that no one else actually carries.
Yeah. Ooh, a spy opera.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
what happened in Miami? You been
I
following
don't
the news?
No, I don't know what happened in Miami.
You're not following the news?
Not the Miami news.
Dude. There were something like 300 cops outside a mall. And I don't mean cops, I mean cars. There were 300 cars outside a mall. And they shut down the whole mall and the whole complex. And they said that the reason they did it was because there were kids with sticks and they wanted to, show force. But I can't help but notice that everywhere else there's kids with sticks, they don't send 300 police cars. This was like every cop with a car was dispatched to this mall, right? Not just the ones on duty. And rumor has it there were 9 or 10 foot tall shadow aliens there. Do you remember in Las Vegas a few months ago, somebody spotted an alien in a backyard?
No.
That happened. Somebody found an 9 foot tall alien backyard. They were like, "Oh shit, there's an alien
Oh
here."
shit.
And they went, told their friends, and their friends came outside and saw it. And then by the time somebody got a camera, it was gone. And they called the cops. But they're saying there might be aliens in Miami. Of course, the government's not talking about it. What are they not telling us, Tom?
I don't know. I want to go for a ride. Like if an alien came and said, like, come take a ride, I'd probably want to go. I'd probably want to check it out. Yeah.
Sure. I mean,
hopefully I get probed. Hopefully, yeah, I'd pay extra for a probing.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. It's weird that aliens are so into butts. It's weird.
So did you ever see the movie Fire in the Sky?
I think so.
It's about the loggers in Arizona where one of them disappeared for 5 days.
Yeah.
I have a cousin that lives in Arizona that knows that guy. They live in the same town. I was like, "Have you talked to him about it?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "What do you think?" It's like, it's hard to doubt his story. I'm like, oh my God. He doesn't like to talk about it anymore, but you know, if you know him real good, he'll tell you about it. Maybe we can get him on the pod.
Ooh, alien pod.
Look, RC Bladeworks makes scales for this as well. In his video, he shows where he's beefed up the center section near the release. Also a little thicker.
Speaking of RC Blade Works, let me pull something up. He messaged me like 2 days ago.
That's him.
About a sale. Now I got to find out. He's having some sale or he's going to have a sale. He wanted to promote it on the group. 30% off all in-stock scales. Ended a Friday. Wah, wah. 1 day sale.
Damn, bro.
Damn.
What kind of chapstick do you like?
My tongue with spit on it. I don't use chapstick really.
You live in a place where it's never not humid, so you probably don't ever need it.
Never not humid. It's not very humid here. I just don't use chapstick. I never developed the need. My body doesn't. I'm no Brad Caldwell. If you took Burt's Bees away from Brad Caldwell, I think his whole face would suck in like a black hole of dryness.
I think he nibbles on it. He doesn't carry crayons anymore. He was never a Marine. He just did I say that out loud? He just he just chews on Burt's Bees. I got no stake in the fight. I shouldn't have made the Marine joke. I apologize to all the Marines out there. They're fine men and women. And
what's your chapstick of choice?
I like mint myself, and it's hard to find, so I usually buy it in 12-pack, and then I got it everywhere. So I got this one, and then I got this one, and there's probably another one over there, and then I've got 2 on my dresser and 1 in my nightstand. You know, they're just all over the place.
Nice.
I still got my Akhmedov scales I haven't put on yet, Tom.
The Alutex ones?
Yeah. I even made them prettier.
What colors did you get? Did you get red? Was that one of them?
I got like the wine purple color.
Yeah.
And then aqua.
Yeah.
But they're right-handed.
Boo.
He broke my heart. He's like, I have enough material left for one of each. And I said, please make them for me. I want smooth 3D classic. And he's like, I do it for you. I said, I need deep carry and I need left hand. And he made him right-handed. So not his fault. Not his fault.
Is it?
Well, fair point.
You're always getting screwed with clip holes.
Yeah, I'll just have to make some right-hand knives, I guess.
Are you gonna? I guess you have time. Are you gonna sand those down first before you put them on? Clean them up, get the gunk out.
I cleaned them up, rubbed them down, and then hit them with a coat of ceramic, and they look good.
Nice. This one's my only set that I haven't hit with sandpaper so far, and it's kind of weird. It's much more pointy feeling and squared off.
Matthew, if you join our Facebook group, we've got a bunch of videos in there about how to disassemble the knives, how to put them back together, how to tune a Para 3 lightweight so that it's centered and flick-flop, how to dial in a Para 3. What else? Yeah, there's a lot of instructional videos in our group. We also have links to friends of the group that are retailers and makers. So if you're looking for recommendations on scales and things like that, it's all posted in the group.
There is a link to the group on the YouTube accounts profile.
Looks like you just found it.
This is what's cool. I was talking when you were out about how I'm working on YouTube stuff, and we're getting more members from there now. And I think that's cool. Just expand our reach into another platform a little bit more and bring everyone into the group where they belong.
Looks like Dog Days Daycare Center just joined.
Ooh.
He's it says YouTube and IG. This page is managed by 4 people. That always makes me uneasy. We should do a feature where we let the viewers choose whether or not somebody gets in or not.
Oh, want to do that? Pull up some membership requests.
Yeah, what do you guys think? It's a guy named Waldo. First name Wall, last name Doe. He's in 8 groups, including Photoshop, help edits and requests, the Rock Poster Society, Las Vegas Hockey, Gig Posters, Las Vegas Camping, Fishing, Outdoor Activities, Concert Posters. Nothing about knives.
Who is this? What was the name? Waldo?
First name Wall, last name Doe.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Matthew's the dogs.
What?
He has the dog account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll have a hard time selling anything with the dog account, Matthew. If you do it on your personal account, no offense, it'll go better for you. No on dog dates. Yeah, it was. You're right.
Actually, I'm gonna share this. I want to show people what we see. So when we are approving people to join the group, we get sent to this page here. And so, for example, Steve right here in the middle, he found the group via Facebook search. The difference between a Delica and a Manix is a choil, and he agrees to the group rules. Now, he joined Facebook 15 years ago, it says. So it's likely a real account, but it doesn't mean it's not been a hijacked account. So if with these answers, with simple stuff like this, we then dig into his profile and start poking around to see if he's liking weird things that happen to be located in Africa, or if all of his friends list look like someone that he would not be friends with.
Or if all of his profile pictures have one like and it's him.
Yep. So this is what you guys have to understand, why we really try hard to screen people out. But some of the questions that we ask, like, we don't get legitimate answers to, so we have to do extra digging. Like, the more you put, the better. If you just put Tom told me to join, that's the fastest way I'm going to approve you. Just put something obvious. But we have to look for simple stuff, like a friend told me to find the group. When you see a friend, Seth is going to have to get dug into because he has 42 groups. No one is in common. So I'll see groups in common, which means he's in no knife groups. My friend told him about it, and he said a lock is the difference, which is a very generic answer. So Seth is probably a scammer. But I don't know until I go dig around, and who knows.
So our motto now is they're a no until they prove they're a yes, because that's really the only way to go. With Seth, we just don't have much to go on yet.
But it is, I do understand that some people, this is their first knife group, but it's always odd when it's someone who's in a lot of other groups for other types of things, but none for knives.
And the reason we're so stingy about this is not to be a jerk or to be arrogant or to be selective. It's the fact that there's so many scammers out there right now, and they are very, very good at hiding their accounts. They're very good at making their accounts look like regular people, and it's very hard to tell.
So here's an interesting one that looks like a real account. It might be real, but the one thing that's a red flag on Rodney Miller, he said he found the group from a friend. Okay, Rodney Miller has 111 friends, and there's 0 friends of his that are in the group.
So he has a friend that knows about the group that isn't in the group.
Yep, or he's not friends with them online.
Most of the time, from a friend is a scammer.
Yep.
That doesn't mean all the time, but sometimes.
So yeah, that's what we have to deal with all day, every day. Constant influx.
We're like the Delta Tau Chi house. You have to prove your worthiness to be let in. They're not watching, and they don't understand what we're saying.
Wouldn't it be funny if there was a scammer in the group that was just such a good member? He had all the coins in the group.
Right.
You watched FFIB.
Yeah, I think his name was Scott Bolin. I got you, Matthew.
And have a blast in there. Go poke around. Go put up a post. You don't have to, but I will recommend this for the future of your time in the group. You will appreciate that I asked you to do this. Put up a post and say, "Hi, I'm new to the group. Just wanted to introduce myself and like show a picture of your cool new knife." And you will be blown away at the positive reception you will get. And you'll start this off on the right foot.
I really wish Facebook's functionality was the same regardless of where you're looking at something.
Oh, you mean like when you click on someone's profile picture, if it takes you to their profile or if it takes you to their group contributions?
Or most of the time, if you're most of the time when you click on their profile picture, it takes you to their profile, but not in a live stream scenario. It doesn't do it there.
Yeah.
Why not? I don't know. Also on Instagram, like if you click anywhere below the heart emoji, or if you click anywhere below the heart emoji but above a comment, it shows you who liked the video, even if you're way off on the side.
Oh yeah.
That's why did they think I need from all the way across the post? Why would I need to click there to know who liked a video? It drives me nuts. And right now my search feature isn't working. I don't know. Facebook's just really buggy. Considering 2 billion people use it, you'd think there'd be a little more tech support, but there's not. Oh well.
Facebook algorithm is starting to feed me a lot more just miscellaneous content of like non-people stuff. It figured out that I really like 1980s three-wheelers. Like I've been getting three-wheelers like for days, which I think are badass. But how to know that I wanted to see three-wheelers?
I usually buy a watch around. I usually buy a watch between Black Friday and New Year's. There'll be a really good sales on watches.
Yeah.
And this year I started I clicked on a Instagram post that was one of those like watch now or buy now or see more. And I clicked on it. And then from that moment on, it was lots of watch content on Instagram and on Facebook. So if you're thinking about buying something expensive, it's a really good way to do it. You'll get lots of notifications when things are on sale.
My Instagram algorithm this week figured out it diagnosed me with having low testosterone, apparently, because it tells me I have ads. Every ad, I never searched for it before these ads came up. I must have just hovered over one to read what it said. And now it's all I get is TRT clinic. Apply now and get your blood tested and free online, whatever.
Maybe it's because we're always calling you low T.
Ooh, I like that name, but not.
No.
Low T.
Yeah, I think most men think they have low T, and then you go, well, do you drink too much? Yeah. Do you sleep right? No. Do you eat junk food all the time? Yeah. Are you overweight? Yeah. Do you ever go out in the sun? No. Do you eat vegetables? Okay, we'll do all that first.
No, I don't want to. I just want the juice. I just want the juice. Give me the juice.
Yep. Then it turns into, why'd my hair fall out? Oh, I don't know.
Nah.
I learned the other day, Tom, that there was a study something like 60 years ago that linked testosterone use to increased rates of prostate cancer. And that's what doctors said for 70 years. Like, oh, well, taking artificial testosterone can cause prostate cancer. And then somebody finally went back and looked at the study, and they found out that there were only 3 people in the study. 2 of them dropped out. And then the last one developed prostate cancer. Well, if you have 0 testosterone and you can't get prostate cancer. If you have normal testosterone, then you have a regular chance of getting it. So if you go from 0 to regular, then you can call that an increased rate of chance of likelihood of getting prostate cancer.
Isn't prostate cancer like the thing that all men, if you live to like 100 years old, will eventually develop?
They say inevitably that we all will get it if we live long enough. But the point is that going from 0 to normal it's not really in the spirit of increased rate.
Yeah.
So yeah, be careful with conventional wisdom out there. Do your homework. That's enough prostate talk for now.
Never enough prostate talk.
Usually we talk about food.
Yeah.
I had one of the worst pizzas I've ever had in my life this week.
Score.
It was really bad. It's called the Dr. Dre. I was hopeful. So if you hate your tongue and you want terrible pizza, I recommend going to Ohio. Ohio does not have a good pizza place anywhere. So lately I've been in Dayton, Ohio. I'm finding the Dayton pizza scene is just as deplorable as the Columbus, Ohio pizza scene. But I did find one place that had like an 8.2 close to an 8 on the One Bite app. And I tried it the other night and it wasn't bad. It had some unique stuff going for it. But then I've been trying some other places, and yeah, I found a place that had something called the Dr. Dre pizza. So it had onions and green peppers. It had bacon. It had chicken. It had cheese, olive oil, something else, red pepper flakes, and jalapenos. And then it was drizzled with a peppercorn sauce. But then when I get the pizza, it came and the crust was like fluffy like naan. Have you ever had naan?
Mm-hmm.
It was fluffy like naan. It wasn't a pizza crust. And then there was no sauce. I missed that part. No, it was just olive oil rubbed on it. And then the chicken looked like it was boiled and sliced, or it was sliced first and then boiled. So the chicken was rubbery. And the sauce wasn't just a peppercorn sauce. It was a peppercorn ranch sauce. So I think if Dre had seen it, he would have slapped it out of my hands. It would have been, he would have beat me up for eating this pizza. And then he would have beaten them up for using his name, just invoking the Dre-ness.
Pretty weird. Pretty weird.
It's pretty bad.
You know what that is? That is too highfalutin.
Too much falutin.
Falutin-free.
I was disappointed because DoorDash gave it a 4.7. Usually you can trust the DoorDash recommendation.
People just have bad point of references in Ohio is what you're saying, is they don't know what good is?
I think everybody in Detroit is in Ohio is either recently Amish or German, or they don't like ethnic foods. They like their bland American food. So yeah, pizza, it's a hard one.
Did you just call pizza an ethnic food?
It is if you like, white gravy on your chicken.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. It's just funny. It's just funny, like, to classify pizza that way. It's just like, it's pizza.
If you like bologna and mayonnaise on white bread and anything more is too fancy, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that we don't all enjoy a bologna sandwich from time to time, but, if that's the extent of your exotic lunch specials, then yeah, you're from Ohio. That's what I'm saying, Tyler. I tried the place that Dave Portnoy liked it, and it was interesting. It was interesting. Like, it was not like another pizza that I had, so it had something going for it. But wait, Adam, you know I'm right. Adam, you know I'm right now. You know I'm right. You've been to Detroit or Chicago or somewhere that has good pizza. You know what I'm talking about.
Dave Portnoy didn't rate it an 8. The app did, right? Or whatever app that is.
He did go there and he did do a review, and I can't remember what he gave it. It was either a high 7 or a low 8. So,
but he only eats the cheese pizza with no flop. Gotta have no flops. Gotta have a good undercarriage.
Yeah, he wants wood fired. He wants coal fired, not wood fired, and he wants a delicious crust that's thin. It should be thin and light on its feet. And then he doesn't like toppings. He definitely doesn't like basil. Doesn't like oregano. So anyway, I'm like, despite what his quirks are, like I've never had Connecticut pizza, so I can't comment on it.
New Haven pizza.
What's that?
New Haven pizza.
Yeah, New Haven. So I've never had New Haven pizza, but generally, I've been to places he's been, and he'll be fair. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then down in Cincinnati, they have a chain of pizzas called La Rosa, and they're everywhere. They have more La Rosas than most cities have Starbucks. They're all over the place, and the pizza is medium bad, but it's the favorite food of the town, other than their chili. That's the other one. They have the chili down there that has cocoa in it and cinnamon, and it's served on noodles with raw onion.
I'm out. Like, you don't even know.
Not very good. Wood fired's pretty delicious. I need to try some coal fire. Coal fire is supposed to be a little crispier.
They're hotter.
I think it's a little hotter, and also there's just less moisture in the coal than there is in the wood. The dough is key. Listen, Lane. If Eric Glesser was on fire and the only thing that would save him was a Pizza King pizza, I would hold his hand until he passed. Like I would not give the man a Pizza King pizza. I know you've been telling me for a long time that the Pizza King in Muncie is different. I'm not going there. It's an hour from home. And Pizza King, they're not the king. They're not not the king. Sorry, buddy. It's 100% different, he says. If I have to go to Muncie and try this pizza and then find out it's as bad as I think it will be, it won't be good, my friend. My left-handedness has nothing to do with the fact that Pizza King makes pizza with ketchup.
Pizza with ketchup. Yummy.
Imagine a Ritz cracker, Tom, with ketchup and just like shredded Kraft cheese on it.
That sounds like something I serve canned when I'm out of food.
Right. If I have to have guilty pleasure terrible pizza, it's probably Costco.
Ooh.
It's $1.99. It's hard to argue.
Yeah.
It's squishy and hot, and it's cheesy, and the sauce isn't awful. So, it doesn't have any of the redeeming qualities of any other good pizza. I think Portnoy gave it a 2.
I get that.
Considering pizza he doesn't like, he'll give a 6. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't understand his scale. Like a bad pizza is a 7.6, and a good pizza is an 8.3, and it's like.
No, the way it works is anything in the 6s is not great. High 6s is almost all right. In the 7s, it's a pizza that's good that you could eat every day, that you would be happy to have down the street from you. So if you had to order it all the time, you'd be all right with it. That's a 7. An 8 is you should travel to visit this pizza place if you're anywhere nearby. So if you need to drive 2 hours for dinner to try this pizza, you should try it. Those are the 8s pizzas. And then if it's a 9, then you should plan a vacation around this pizza place because it'll change your life. That's a scale.
He got on my TikTok algorithm, and it was just pizza review after pizza review. I don't think I saw one below 7, and I don't think I saw one above 8. It's just like, and people were like seeing him at the restaurant, getting all excited, like, "Oh, I think you give this a 7.7 or whatever." It's just like,
subscribe to his YouTube channel, and every day about 6 o'clock, there's a new one.
All right.
He posts at least 5 days a week. So whenever he's in town for some sporting event, for some barstool event, he'll hit 4 or 5 pizza places in one day and just bank them all.
Oh yeah.
or you can go to the One Bite app, and if he's been somewhere, they cross link it there. Yeah, the funny thing for Dave is he keeps going to these places that call themselves New Haven style, and then he basically spits the pizza out, going, "They didn't get it right." You have to kind of have a shitty attitude as you serve your coal fire pizza, your New Haven style pizza. Everywhere he goes in New Haven that serves it, all the people that work there, zero fucks.
Yeah.
They're just mean pizza makers. That's all. Pizza King is an 8. Is that your 8 or his 8?
Ooh.
I'm gonna look it up right now. We're gonna go to the numbers, my friend. If Dave Portnoy said it was an 8, I will drive there and I will try it.
Interesting.
I kind of doubt Dave Portnoy's ever been to Muncie.
Pizza King is an 8. We have some pizza that, well, according to fancy food review places or New York Times or something like that, we have one of the best pizza places in the country here.
There's no way the New York Times likes your pizza.
Why?
Because it's not New York.
I know, whatever place reviews food, I don't know, but we have some really good pizza here, but it's not that style. It's too falutin because it's got like, well, it's margarita. It's a wood
I see
pizza.
what he's saying here, Tom.
What?
The community has given it an 8.4, but Dave hasn't been there. So
That's what I thought. Okay.
Lane and his friends have all given it 8 given it 10s, right? The beautiful Mrs. Lucas, and then his dog Rex Lucas, Mama Lucas, they've all given it 10. Oh, there's 3 reviews, by the way. 8.4 out of 10 based on 3 reviews. Let's see what Google says.
Ken's Artisan Pizza, ranked number 3 pizzeria in America during Manhattan ceremony from Italy's top 50 pizzas organization.
Well, Lane, is it the one? Is it the one on Tillotson, or is it the one on Wheeling? There seems to be 2 locations, and you're telling me that they're very different.
Oh, don't go to that one. You went to the wrong one. It's like Pizza by Alfredo and Alfredo's Pizza Cafe on
right.
their office.
Oh shit! There's West Memorial Drive, Wheeling Avenue, West Bethel Avenue, and South Tillotson. It could be any of them.
Oh shit! This place is like sprawling all over the place.
They're the king. He says there's 10 in Muncie. The location in Lafayette used to have a little toy train, Tom. So the restaurant had tables set up, and imagine the restaurant was deeper than it was wide, right? So the tables would go all the way to the back of the restaurant, and when you ordered your drinks, they would put the drinks on a train, and they'd send the train to your table, and then you could slide this little door open, and you could take your drinks off of the back of the train, and then the train would go back to the kitchen. That's value add.
Okay, well now I'm gonna go get some pizza to eat. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go down the street to Pizza Jerk. Give myself
another fun part about living in the Midwest is if you want pizza at 10 o'clock at night, you're screwed because there's nothing open except Domino's.
True.
That's it, just Domino's. It brings us all together, Christian. A little health awareness, some scale talk, some sale talk, some pizza talk. Yep. Well, guys, thanks for watching tonight. Tom's going to go get some pizza, and I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do with my evening.
Probably go to bed.
Like going to bed. I'm kind of feeling like I might be getting sick, and I hate that feeling. Usually the remedy for that is get a lot of sleep. So I might just take some meds and go to sleep. A little Sudafed or something. Blake, no knife discussion for 45 minutes. How dare you? You're just a heckler. Yeah, go to Casey's for the gas station pizza. It's hard times here, Tom.
Apparently, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Enjoy your Hawaiian pizza.
You're funny. Normally, yes, but not tonight.
Oh my goodness.
I'm getting cheese or pepperoni.
Ooh. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.